On today's episode, we tackle all the terrains in the 2021 Lexus GX 460. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. Known around the world as the Land Cruiser Prado, here in America we only get a luxury version of this legendary off-roader. We know it as the Lexus GX 460. And for those looking for a mid-sized luxury SUV with serious off-road bona fides, this might be the best choice in a sea of car-like crossovers. The GX 460 starts at just over $53,000. The model we're testing today is a GX 460 Luxury, with a number of optional packages. Prices you see it here, $71,035 US, including destination. Under the hood is a 4.6-liter V8, good for up to 301 horsepower and 329 pound-feet of torque. It's connected to a 6-speed automatic transmission with a dual-range gearbox and all-wheel drive. EPA rates this at 15 miles to the gallon in the city and 19 on the highway. Tow capacity is 6,500 pounds.
In the back, it doesn't have a swing-up door, it has a swing-out door. And yeah, look, that's where the third row is. But it's easy to put down. I just hold these buttons, and away they go, which gives me ample storage in the back.
With all the seats folded flat, you're looking at up to 64.7 cubic feet of total capacity, which is small for the class, but that's the downside of a body-on-frame design with a stowable third row. It just doesn't package space as efficiently as a unibody. It also has AC power available in the back, and the back window opens independently.
Okay. I have to kind of climb up into the position here. I have room for my legs, it's not too bad. I also have high and low seat warmers here for the second row, as well as full aircon, USB, and a pop-out cup holder. Now I can slide my seat forward and back, which is nice. And there is of course a third row, but it's not really made for humans, so I'm not even gonna get back there. Yeah, overall this is pretty good. Up front here is an interior that is very much like any other Lexus. You have, kind of some mediocre plastics that are starting to show their age. This like pseudo-metallic stuff. Never really cared for that. And that stuff's getting phased out on the newest Lexus vehicles. But this one is an older design, so it still has some of that. However, over on the steering wheel here, it has some of the best leather you'll find in a car and some nice contrast stitching there. And then in the center console, we kind of have this nice wood grain pattern. Overall, it is a really nice interior with just, man, that metallic plastic. That's just, that just says 90s to me, Especially comparing it to the new GV80 from Genesis that we reviewed recently. That thing has a gorgeous interior. This one, you just look at it and you kind of scratch your head and you're like, Lexus, when are you going to update this? As much as this interior is a bit of a throwback, and most of that is okay, there's a few things that aren't really as okay as they once were. And one of those things is the surround view cameras. These things are horrible. I swear, I had a webcam in the 90s that had higher resolution than this. It is better than not having it, but again, when you look at what the competition is offering, specifically Mercedes in this space, the GLE, that surround view camera, it's almost like looking at a satellite view. This one, I feel like it's a satellite view looking through the bottom of a glass cup that still has some liquid in it. This is just not very easy to see the details on. And again, it's better to have it, but I would like it to be more competitive in the space.
For search, you can type in a destination or use voice prompts.
To start voice recognition, please push and release the talk switch. Please say a command.
Navigate to the nearest Starbucks.
Find Starbucks. Please say an item number from the list.
1.
Number 1. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yes. Please proceed to the highlighted route, then the route guidance will start.
So it may not be pretty, but it does work.
plug a mobile device into USB for access to music, and, well,
This is me realizing this doesn't even support CarPlay. Oh my gosh.
This does have some newer safety tech, including lane departure warnings, pre-collision mitigation, and blind spot warnings. It also has LED headlights with automatic high beams and a backup camera with rear cross-traffic alerts. Luxury trim buyers can also option an off-road package, which adds surround view cameras, some underbody protection, a transmission cooler, crawl control, and multi-terrain select. This package adds $1,570 to the bottom line, but is only available on the top trim luxury model. Along with self-leveling air suspension on the rear shocks, it really makes the GX 460 a much more versatile vehicle. Now let's see how the different modes affect full throttle launch on a loose surface. First, standard mode. As you can see, traction control keeps spin under control, but it is a sure-footed start. Next, we'll enable low range and the mud and sand program. This allows for more wheel spin to help move the vehicle through loose surfaces. Side by side, you can see how these two systems differ in these specific conditions. By default, the GX 460 pushes up to 70% of available power to the rear wheels. In loose conditions, it can shift up to 50-50. But the real capability comes from how it distributes power to the individual wheels, which we will explore a bit later in this video.
Florence. Gotta admit, there's nothing that sounds quite like a V8, even a little guy like we have here. Yeah, because of course this is 4.6 liters. Given this interior, you'd probably expect that the advanced safety equipment is old school as well. You'd be right. It does have, however, some nice updates. You do have radar cruise control, which is easy to set. I just basically set it like normal cruise control, set my pacing distance, and we're good to go. In terms of lane detection, it does detect lanes, but that's about it. All I get is a slight vibration on the wheel once it detects that I'm about to go off. Let's go ahead and tap it over. Yeah, it doesn't point me back in or anything. It just merely vibrates the wheel, flashes and says, hey, you know, you might want to get over. Also, if I trigger too many of those lane detection events, then it will say, hey, you might want to pull over and get some coffee, which usually sounds good to me anyway. So yeah, I'm always down for that. Even on pavement, there are a few different options we can play with here. The transmission can go into a sport mode, and we can manually shift the gears. It is a proper 6-speed automatic, which 6-speed on an automatic's a little old school these days, but you know, I think it does just fine here, except for we don't have the benefits of economy that you get with like an 8, 9, or 10-speed unit.
All GX 460 trims now have the kinetic dynamic suspension system as standard equipment. This gives the driver the ability to adjust damping for a smoother or sportier ride.
Right now we're in comfort. We get 3 different modes. I'm going to go ahead and put it onto sport mode, and that should reduce roll in the corners, and I should be able to feel the road a little bit more. Yeah, it's a little bit. I'm not feeling, it's not like a drastic change, but I can definitely feel more of that road surface underneath me. It's a little uneven here because this is, of course, you know, a poorly maintained forest road. If I go back into comfort, see if I get that little, yeah, it smooths out the road surface. So that's a significant change. Okay, let's do a 0 to 60. So I have the transmission in sport, I have suspension in sport because why not? Come to a complete stop. And 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa, that V8 picks up quick. Sounds great. And 60. We're looking at 7.32 0 to 60 with a 2.71 on the 0 to 30 brake. Okay, let's go ahead and dip into the forest. Now, this vehicle has 8.1 inches of ground clearance, and though it has air suspension, that only affects the back. So it's not really going to get more clearance like you would get in, you know, that Land Rover that we tested recently. The suspension does a really good job though of soaking up these potholes that have really developed on this road. Yeah, this is pretty nice. So this is rolling on 19-inch wheels, but there's still a reasonable amount of sidewall on these because they're just big wheels and big tires actually on it as well. So I don't have to worry about tiptoeing too slowly through here. Man, this suspension's doing a really good job of really cleaning up this road. So the next question probably is, how does this thing do when you really throttle it into the corner? Can you get that back to step out a little bit? Let's give it a try. A little bit. It's not quite what I was looking for though. Okay, and as we approach the course, you know, there's something missing. There's no burned out box truck. Now, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, when we came out here last week to film the QX50 from Infiniti, there was a burned out box truck in the middle of the course. Now, if you want to see that, you can go ahead and check out that review after you watch this one. But now let's look at what this Lexus offers. So this first test is pretty straightforward. Basically, we're just going up a rocky trail, which is not terribly unusual for the Pacific Northwest. Now, what this will do is it'll basically remove traction from several wheels as we're going to see how well it distributes power around. Now, I don't expect this vehicle to have any issue because this is a traditional old school four-wheel drive system, and it should get through this no problem. Let's go ahead and go. I'm going to put this into drive. I'm going to put our suspension into comfort. I'm not going to mess with any of the fancy off-road stuff yet because I don't think it'll be an issue here. I'm not even going to put it into low range unless I need to. The suspension is really good for this. I have a commanding view. The seats are super comfortable, great for off-roading. Now I do have to watch out here for any debris left over from the box truck. I want to make sure I don't get any punctures in my tires. Okay, now this is the spot where I'm going to lift traction off of this wheel and this wheel. This gives modern crossovers a lot of issues. But here, no problem, just powers through, easy. Our course has changed here slightly because of the whole box truck incident. So I'm not sure, I don't really want to drive over that stuff because there might be some metal left over. So I'm just going to go straight. There we go. No problem. So this only has 8.1 inches of ground clearance, but that seems to be plenty for this portion of the course. I'm going to go ahead and put the nose deep in the hole over here too, because I think this thing can do it, no problem. Into the hole. There's a rock on the left I'm trying to avoid. And out again. No problem. So it's going down again where we'll actually use one of the first off-road tools that this has, and that is a hill descent control system. Now, in Toyota speak, they don't really use hill descent control on their rugged off-roaders. Instead, they use something called crawl control. And that works both going uphill and down. We're going to use it for down right here. I basically have to switch to neutral, go into 4 low. I get new gauges up here, which are cool. I click this on, put it into drive. Now I click it on. Okay, now I'm in crawl control, and we'll keep it on the lowest level possible. And this basically is going to inch us along at about 1 mile per hour. It sounds horrible, but it's doing an amazing job of keeping our progress smooth. And also, this doesn't matter whether or not I'm going downhill or uphill. It'll work both ways. Okay, I think we've shown the basics. Let's go on and find something a little bit more challenging to do. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Whoop, whoop, and we're rolling. Okay. So I'm heading up into the mountains because I'd really like to try this out on the cross-cut climb. However, it has started to snow, and rather heavily. I am still about 1,000 feet below the cross-cut climb, and the road is already getting covered in snow. So what are we going to do for the rest of the video? Well, we're going to try to get up to the cross-cut climb and see how far we can go. Okay, now I can tell by the snow that it had snowed heavily a few days ago, because we have probably about a half a foot of snow, but it's obviously thawed, and then now it's snowing again. So there's a sheen of water, there's definitely ice in the snow. It's gonna be a very slickery, for those who live in the Pacific Northwest, you know what kind of snow this is. For people in the rest of the country, you probably have no idea what this snow is like. This stuff is tough. So we're gonna try to see how far we can go. So of course the rule is you stay in the ruts. The biggest issue here is going to be if I encounter somebody coming down the hill at the same time I'm going up. That can be a problem. You can definitely see where some people have gotten stuck on the side of the road. Whoa, hello. That was bouncy. I think I found a pothole. Okay, on we go. This isn't so bad so far. You know, this is one thing that I really like about these type of systems where they are genuinely a four-wheel drive system, is that you're not waiting, you're not shuffling power around, you don't have a center clutch to overheat. Oh, we're gonna start dragging. I'm gonna go ahead and raise up our back just to, oh, nope, that's down. Just to make sure our back's not dragging. Hey, look at that. It's a 4Runner. Of course it is. And can I get around this 4Runner? No problem. We're doing it. Yeah. Okay, the road tracks have ended. I'm now just in loose snow. Let's see how far this gets, or if I'm gonna end up having to dig myself out. And, oh boy, okay. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm feeling like I have no grip here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it into neutral. I'm gonna switch it into 4 low. And I'm not doing this for power. I'm doing it because I want a more gradual throttle. Let's see if this improves the situation at all. Or if we're just gonna slip. Yep, we're just gonna slip. Wrong tires! Okay, so let's go back a little bit. And now let's press on. Yeah, there we go. Oh man, these tires are not looking good for this. This isn't exactly what I wanted to show, but yeah, I think we need to go find some other place where I'm not gonna instantly get stuck with a cliff on the outside right. So yeah, let's go find another spot.
Attempting a multi-point turn on a snow-covered forest road is trickier than it looks on all-season radials. You just need a little patience.
Maybe not quite as far forward. This is tricky. Boy, this stuff is so slick. It is currently 34 degrees, so we are barely on the edge of freezing, which means that this snow is ultra slick. There we go. You know, I have to say that cliff is concerning. Yee, okay, let's go find another location. Okay, yeah, this is what I was looking for. Ha! Got to watch out for rocks. So power, because this is an old school all-wheel drive system, power is just there. You know, it's not like you have to wait for a computer to engage a clutch. You can just push down the throttle and you go. But of course it does have traction control. That can be overridden with this button right here, and then it's wheel spin city. Ah. Okay, this looks challenging. A river. So if I go down and then I cut through the river and then go up the other side, I think we'll be golden. So I'm just going to preemptively get the vehicle into a proper off-road mode. I'm going to put it into neutral, put it into 4 low. Let's turn the MTS system to loose rock, because I think that's kind of close. Riverbeds, loose rock. I think that's selected. Yes. So the MTS system is like an advanced version of Toyota's A-Track in that it uses braking in conjunction with the advanced off-road systems to give you more capability in tricky conditions, like this. So I gotta watch out for the big rocks because I don't want to get high-centered in the middle of a river, of course. I also have to find an exit point. I think that looks good right there. That won't high-center me. It's all about not getting high-centered and not crunching your nose off. There we go. Yes! Oof, gotta make sure I don't hit. Okay, now we got this climb. Let's see how this climb does. Stuff my nose. Oop. Am I stuffing? I'm stuffing my nose. Okay, so the approach angle is not, it's not gonna work on this one. I think we have to turn around because I'd like to think that I've learned from my past mistakes. Though the system is capable, you have physical dimensions getting in the way of the actual capabilities of this vehicle because the approach and departure angles, I'm clearly running into issues with those today. But I think overall, you know, for what most people are going to do, most people are not going to drive this through a river. And I think for most people, this system will be more than what they will ever need. Gentle, and then up. Yes. Did it, kind of.
The Lexus GX 460 packages old school charm and capability with a modern, sporty exterior. It's really unfortunate that it has such a dated infotainment system. I mean, come on, not even CarPlay? But if you want a vehicle that features classic body-on-frame ruggedness, advanced off-road features, and that Lexus luxury, the GX 460 is pretty much the only option on the market. Where are we going next? You'll have to subscribe to find out. Hit that button, give us a like, and leave a comment. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again right here next week.